The drama in the fitness industry
5, 6 in the stew, back with my newest album. You wanted it?
Jeff Nippard
has officially become more relevant than the source material, which is actual fitness content.
Jeff Nippard, science-based lifter, dropout dentista, comment deleter.
It seems like the algorithm favors this drama more than the actual content that helps people with fitness.
The Nipsey files are getting pretty interesting, guys.
Solomon Nelson had ousted Mike Israetel on his PhD dissertation, which had a lot of errors in it. And then on top of that, Jeff Nippard came to his boyfriend's rescue in the back and forth between Solomon Nelson.
Bro was out here adding semicolons to Mike's rough draft from 13 years ago, thinking he did something.
But it gets even better with Jeff Nippard because now he's going back on a lot of this science-based training.
There's no way that Jeff would go against the science, that he would do anything undermining of science.
Which was involving a lot of high volume stuff. And now he's starting to do this Mike Menser style of training.
The research does show, for the most part, that on average, higher volume training does lead to more muscle growth. However, I do think on a cut, a low volume program can make more sense.
And so because it's Jeff, he gets to say whatever he wants.
I started to feel like all that extra volume that I used to do was depleting me more than I realized.
I need to put on muscle in the next 100 days because I need to make $1 million selling my training program.
And now Solomon Nelson has exposed him as well.
Jeff reiterated his request for his name to be removed entirely. He followed this with a long, unsolicited message detailing his personal grievances, before asking for the communication to be kept private.
I can't believe what I'm about to say, but I think that Greg Doucette is probably one of the only fitness influencers that I'll continue to watch.
Asked Solomon Nelson to not tell anyone what he'd stated. The same person that said horrific things to myself in person, of which I'm not going to share.
Solomon's former client is a 5-4 circle jerker.
See, this is why we should watch Greg Doucette. At least he makes a joke out of it and he's laughing. These other guys take themselves way too seriously and their ego is so fragile that as soon as they're called out on their bull, they crumble and they start attacking people.
Week 3, I noticed something surprising. Not only was I not losing size, I actually looked harder and fuller.
Yeah, because you're probably taking something.
How do we know that Jeff was not on Turk Builder Max?
Or on PEDs.
Did he post his blood work?
And even if he did, it doesn't mean anything anyways.
The same person that was so quick to back Mike Israetel and come after Solomon and not even give an apology when he was proven to be wrong.
When you have a huge ego, you're never gonna admit you're wrong. And this is the unfortunate thing that happens when you destroy your credibility with a lot of stupid videos like that addressing the controversy video.
Solomon's former client is a 5-4 circle jerker.
What did he do instead? Delete the comments. And so essentially to deny.
Yeah, just like he changed the titles of a lot of his video multiple times.
He technically isn't actually a science-based lifter. He doesn't have a PhD. He dropped out of dentistry school.
Dropout dentista, comment deleter, wanna be a doctor.
Wanna be a doctor.
And so how can we trust Jeff Nippard to have ethics?
You can't trust him to have ethics because he doesn't demonstrate it with a lot of these scandals and controversies that he's being ousted for right now.
Maybe he repeated the DEXA scan 5 different times, took the worst results at the start, and for the finale, did the DEXA scan 5 separate times and took the best results.
That sounds a lot like something somebody with a massive ego who wants to appear perfect online would actually do.
We see somebody that's getting stronger while being in a calorie deficit, building muscle, losing fat at the same time. Many people say, oh, well, they're fake natty. How do we know Jeff is natural? We know previously when he did his blood work that he was natural, but is it possible that he just didn't post his own blood work?
Of course it's possible that he didn't post his own blood work, just like he didn't post the fake natty's blood work in the summer.
Data glitcher won't take your picture.
Yeah, like he wouldn't take a picture with a fan. Who are you?
The research does show, for the most part, that on average, higher volume training does lead to more muscle growth. However, I do think on a cut, a low volume program can make more sense.
And so Jeff reads the science says higher volume is better. And then Jeff says, however.
So now all of a sudden he's not science, he's all about the low volume, high intensity. Which one is it, Jeff? Are you science-based or are you now changing your tune and going with the old school bodybuilding style?
And so because it's Jeff, he gets to say whatever he wants.
Because people just follow these guys without even questioning the validity of what they're saying because because the guy represents himself like he's some kind of scientist when he isn't.
I actually think it was holding me back in some ways, because training is supposed to be fun.
Jeff enjoys his training more now, and so when you enjoy your training, is it possible that you train harder? We've witnessed Jeff train like a kitty cat, I'll call it.
Because you can't train that hard when you're doing high volume. When you're doing lower volume, you can train with higher intensity.
Is it possible that he simply trained harder with the goal of proving to the world that a non-science-based program can work better than his previous science-based program?
Yes, because science-based is bullshit.
Let's say that this training program had not been effective, that it didn't work. Would Jeff have just said, you know what, I'm not going to sell this program?
This is the genius marketing ploy. He can now change his tune and all of his followers are just going to buy his new program and buy into Mike Mentzer's heavy duty training that Dorian Yates also did. And he can use a lot of this controversy surrounding Mike Israetel and him attacking Solomon Nelson in order to gain more fame online and sell more programs and products.
You shouldn't base too much of your own training off of one person's experience. That's why I want to take a second look at the science.
A second look at science. And so if the science doesn't point out what you want it to point out, take a second look and find other studies to prove what you want.
Yeah, they use certain studies in order to push their own biases on people, and then people like Jeff, who have a big following and all of the people kiss his ass, those people are still gonna buy his programs and buy into a lot of this bullshit. At the end of the day, the old school stuff is what works. I used to compete in bodybuilding. I've switched into more of like a martial arts type of athletic training. I've lost a lot of the size. If you like high intensity training and that's what's gonna keep you going, if you like high volume training and you don't push yourself as hard in the gym, you're still gonna get results. This isn't like groundbreaking stuff that Jeff is coming out with and all of these people are just getting all googly-eyed over it.
You find all the research and you say, see, this is why my pre-workout is very high in caffeine. Whatever you're looking for, trust me, you will find it.
This classic study from Bickel and colleagues had subjects run 2 phases back to back. They hit their legs 3 days a week, 27 sets per week just for their quad.
And this is exactly why I can't stand when he pulls up these studies. I've never really found this type of stuff interesting. It's not really that complicated. You don't need all of these studies to show what's going to work. You just need to go to the gym and try different things until you see what actually works for you. One thing doesn't work for everybody. No study is going to show exactly what's going to work for your body. Fitness is a journey, learning about what works for you. These studies and this science-based stuff is such bullshit. And you're seeing it with Mike Israetel and Jeff Nippard. And now he's coming around and doing what all of these heavy duty guys were doing in the 80s and 90s.
Just last month was just published. They split everyone doing that low volume program into a failure group and a non-failure group.
How do we know they actually went to failure?
You don't know if they actually went to failure, and I find it very interesting that now Jeff is showing these studies to prove what he's trying to sell right now, and people are just gonna buy it because people don't think for themselves.
So this new study tells us 2 really important things. First, on a low volume program, going to failure seems to work better.
And so is that really shocking information?
It's not even a new study. This has been going on for like 30, 40 years. Like I said before, the guys in the 90s and 80s were doing this. This actually started with Mike Mentzer, and then Dorian Yates adopted it with his heavy duty training. I might be aging myself right now. There's a video called Blood and Guts, which is showcasing Dorian Yates doing this style of training. This is not new.
If you do hardly any sets and you go hard on those sets, you're gonna make more gains than if you do hardly any sets, but you don't go hard. I mean, this sounds like type of quality research that Mike Israetel would do.
Yeah, but people just think it's a scientist saying it, so that means that it's 100% true.
That's what I make of this 2023 meta-analysis from Robinson and colleagues, which very clearly showed that the closer you train to failure, the more muscle you gain.
And so, can you now see I've been vindicated? Of all the variables, which is the most important? Well, Jeff Nippard now says it's training hard. Jeff now agrees with Coach Greg.
And that's why Coach Greg looks a lot better than Jeff Nippard and Mike Israetel. He's in way better shape than both of them. People can say he's taken stuff. Yeah, but most likely so have the other guys.
After 100 days, I matched my bench press strength and I added 15 pounds to my leg extension max. I think that's super solid.
I mean, frankly, it's not just solid, it's sus. He lost 7.5 pounds of body weight as an advanced lifter and got stronger while in a deficit.
It's just so easy to be full of shit on the internet and have people believe what you're saying if you sound smart.
He built more muscle, lost body fat, and got stronger, all while in a calorie deficit. He was adding 4 reps to his PRs. He was stronger than last time. And so why bulk? What's the point of bulking if you can go on a cut and build muscle and lose fat at the same time when you're in your 30s?
Because he's probably taking PEDs. At the end of the day, these guys are full of shit and they're just trying to sell you something. But at least Greg Doucette is honest about his motives, and he's a hell of a lot more entertaining than the other two. At one point, I thought Jeff Nippard had a lot more credibility until he started shilling for those fake natties in the summer. And now that I see him attacking Solomon Nelson on the comments, and then he's deleting the comments, and then he changes the titles of his videos, he just kind of seems like he's always trying to save face and hide his true character. The most important program is the one that you can follow, and the one that you enjoy, and the one that gives you results. That's all I got for this video. If you want to talk about this further, leave a message in the comments. If you want to like and subscribe to this video, it helps me reach more people with this message, and it helps me with the algorithm. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening. Stay skeptical. See you in the next video. I'm out.